Hey everyone, my name's Jessie. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing my July TBR roll the dice game. I'm so excited. I love doing these videos every month. But before we get into rolling the dice, a quick reminder that if you didn't know, I run a sci-fi fantasy book club called Shelf Space on my channel, and every month we read a new fantasy or sci-fi book, and this month, the month of July, we are reading Malice by Gwynne. We are being joined by Jashana from Jashana C, whose channel I will link down below. We are going to be chatting about this book in the Discord server I have set up for the book club throughout the month, and then at the end of the month we will have a live show with myself and Jashana, and we will be able to live chat about the book and what we all thought of it. So if you want to join us, you can pick up Malice, and this is definitely one of the books I will be reading this month. So without further ado, let's get right into the rolling. Okay, time for roll one. Number 9. That is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I've had this on my TBR for quite some time now, so I'm very excited to finally be getting to it. And I will erase and replace. And I have replaced that with The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. So we will do roll number 2. Number 6, that is Wild Seed by Octavia Butler. I'm so excited for this. It sounds amazing. So that will be book number 2. I have replaced that with All Systems Red by Martha Wells. So let's do roll number 3. Number 5, that is The Blinding Knife, the second book in the Lightbringer series by Brent Weeks. I'm so excited. I loved The Black Prism. You guys know this. So that is book number 3. And I've replaced that with Shorefall by Robert Jackson Bennett. So let's do roll number 4. Number 10. That is Sing Unburied Sing by Jasmine Ward. I'm so excited for this one. I've heard amazing things. So that will be book number 4. And I replaced that with Things You Save in a Fire by Catherine Center. So let's do roll number 5. 7. That is Anyone by Charles Sewell. I'm so excited for this. I love The Oracle Year by this author. So we will see what I think of his second book. And I've now replaced that with Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. So let's do roll number 6. Oh, and if you don't see that, that is number 12, which is The Vanishing Season by Dot Hutchison. This is the last book in the Collector series, so I'm very excited for this one. And I've now replaced that with Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. So roll number 7 now. This is the last roll. And that is number 1. Number 1 is the subscriber recommendation. Yay, finally! And that is Jurassic Park, which I have in this beautiful Barnes & Noble edition. So this will be the 7th book I will be reading this month. So excited to get to it. I've heard amazing things, and it's one of my favorite movies ever. I am so happy with how this month worked out for my TBR, so let's just do a quick run through of all the books I will be reading. Obviously, Malice by Gwynne. First book. I do have a book from last month's TBR that I did not get to, and that is Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. So I already started it. I will be finishing this one first before getting to any of the other books on my TBR this month, just because I really wanted to get to this, and I did not. My reading did not go quite as planned, so sorry. And now for the books I actually rolled for this month. The first being Sing Unburied Sing by Jasmine Ward. I have heard amazing things about this book. I believe this is an adult contemporary, also kind of a historical fiction. It says it is about an intimate portrait of a family in an epic tale of hope and struggle. It journeys through Mississippi's past and present, examining the ugly truths at the heart of the American story and the power and limitations of family bonds. I love these kinds of stories, these really just like very impactful, important family contemporary dramas. So I'm really excited to read this one and let you guys know what I think. The next book is The Blinding Knife by Brent Weeks, which is the second book in the Lightbringer series. I gave The Black Prism 5 stars. loved every character, loved the writing. So I'm so excited to be going into this second book now. I've heard it's even better than the first one, so I don't know how that's possible, but I am pumped for it. I will also be reading The Vanishing Season by Dot Hutchison, which is the last book, the fourth book in the Collector series, which is a series of thrillers by the same author that follows the same group of FBI agents, but each book is a different case. I would say you have to read these books in order, starting with The Butterfly Garden, just because they have recurring characters and kind of an overarching plot structure, if you will, where they reference past cases and such. So I liked reading these in order, and that's how I would recommend doing it. All of these are very, very dark and heavy. The crimes that these FBI agents have to solve are really disturbing. So these are not for the faint of heart, but they always end on like a hopeful tone, which is why I like them and appreciate them, because they're kind of these stories of rising above these struggles and these crimes and coming out stronger and as a survivor of these really horrible things that have happened to these characters. So I really like it because it just examines the strength of these characters rather than focusing on the trauma. So if that sounds interesting to you, I think The Butterfly Garden is my favorite of the series so far, but I am excited to continue on and finish off this series of books. The next book I'll be reading is Wild Seed by Octavia Butler, and I have been wanting to read Octavia Butler for a while now. I figured Wild Seed sounded like a good place to start. It sounds like it's such a cool story. It says it's about these two kind of ancient spirit beings that occupy other people's bodies to survive, and they don't know that the other exists, and then when they find out the other exists, they're kind of the only thing that pose a threat to each other. And they're these conflicting spirits. It just sounds so cool. So I'm really excited to be reading this, and it is a series. So if I like this, I will definitely pick up the next one. But I know that there's so many Octavia Butler books out there that I really want to get to. So this is going to be where I start, but not where I finish. The next book is Anyone by Charles Sewell. So I read The Oracle Year by Charles Sewell and really enjoyed it. It was a fun, kind of political, sci-fi, thriller type book. This one sounds like it's really, really interesting. It says it's set in a realistic future about a brilliant female scientist who creates a technology that allows for the transfer of human consciousness between bodies and the transformations this process wreaks upon the world. I love that kind of premise. Like, it sounds very Blake Crouch to me, which I love all of those types of sci-fi thriller books that explores like a certain technology and how society would react to that technology. So I'm really excited for this one, and I really haven't heard anyone talk about it, so we'll see what I think. The next book I have is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. This was everywhere last year. Everyone seemed to be talking about this book and how much they loved it. I've seen a lot of positive reviews. I've seen some like reviews, but no one seems to like really dislike it. So I think I'm gonna like it overall based on everything else I've heard about it. This is kind of a Beauty and the Beast retelling. That's all I'm really aware of. I heard that it like doesn't take itself very seriously, and this girl kind of goes into this fantasy world and like pokes fun at it almost. So if it has like a lighthearted humor to it, I think I'm really going to enjoy it, and I'm excited to see what all the hype was about with this one. So we'll see. And the last book I have is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. Jurassic Park was one of my favorite movies as a child growing up. My childhood obsession was dinosaurs, which is such a random thing to be obsessed about as a kid, but I loved dinosaurs, anything and everything dinosaurs. So Jurassic Park was like a very, very big part of my childhood, and so I'm so excited to finally be reading the book that the movie was based on. I've heard amazing things about the book, and I'm really excited to see how deep it goes into like the science behind how they made Jurassic Park possible. I'm just so excited for this, and I love this edition from Barnes & Noble. I think it's so pretty. So if I really enjoy this, I will definitely be reading The Lost World as well, and I'm really excited to let you guys know what I think. I think one of you actually recommended this to me, so thank you to whoever recommended this to me. I'm really excited to get to it. And those are the books I will be reading in the month of July. Do you see any that you are particularly excited about? Let me know, and let me know if you're going to be participating in our book club. I'm really excited to read Malice. I've heard so many good things about that series, so we will see. It is chunky and intimidating, but I'm really, really happy to be picking it up with all of you guys. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to chat about. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.